What's up, everyone? It's Gaijin Gamer here, back with episode 5 of my free-to-play journey on the road to Guardian. So without further ado, let's jump into some summons, let's hop into some gameplay, as well as potentially change up some of my team compositions. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alrighty, everyone. Now hopping into some summons here. I'm not really quite sure what we're looking for as of right now. However, just about anything would be fantastic, and we're starting off with the Soul Stone, so that's pretty dang good. Hopefully it's something usable here, anything wouldn't be too bad though, so can't be up too set by anything. However, McKean, we've already had it, so that's not the best thing in the world, unfortunately. However, we're going to hop into the next summon here, and we'll see what we can pull. Hopefully it's a green card, and it's not. Hopefully it's something useful. Bernard, never unhappy about some Bernard in my life, so that's always nice. Alrighty, come on, let's see if we can get a rare card. Of course not. I've got some next level luck here. And we pulled the good old temple time. Let's see what we can get. Okay, we got a legendary. Let's see what we get here. Ooh, oh, that's actually not too bad. We're going to rip off the band-aid here. Boom. What do we get? Oh, nice. Yes. Tessarion. This is going to bring my Tessarion up to level 8. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see what else we get. Oh, damn. We got a decent amount of hero level cards and 25 Bernards. Wow, this is an amazing pull, guys. So, wow. All right. Well, we're going to upgrade everything, then we're going to hop into some gameplay. Alrighty, guys. And before hopping in today's matchups, I just kind of wanted to throw out my composition that I'll be running for today's video. And that is, I have the same front four that I had. I have upgraded the runes since, so we've got a little bit more resistance, we got a little bit more HP, we got a little more defense on all of those units. Next up, we're going to rock Eleanor. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I often found that Soha, while she is amazing, don't get me wrong, I just feel that Eleanor will be better for the purpose that I'm trying to use. Not only does she heal, but she cleanses my team, which oftentimes I find myself just getting wrecked due to just insurmountable dots or insurmountable debuffs. So I think Eleanor is going to play a key part in my success in the later laddering here. Next up, we have the Beretta, which is awesome, same runes, and then we also have Tessarion, who's now level 8. Not only is he level 8, but I went ahead and took Lapis's runes and put them on him, so he's rocking a really thick set of fatal runes, so it's going to be quite dangerous. And then finally, which is kind of the odd pick here, I have Artemiel in slot 8. Now, we may change him different slots, potentially 6, to kind of protect Tessarion in slot 8, but we're going to try him in slot 8. The reason I like Artemiel, not only can he just absolutely obliterate Lapis if it comes down to like 1v1, but he's going to get rid of some of these walls that I face with this AoE comp. So hopefully that this team comp works out, and we'll see how it goes. So without further ado, let's hop into some matchups. Alrighty, everyone, and now starting things off, as you can see, this is matchup 1 of 3 for today. And as you can see, we don't have Artemiel in the comp. Well, that's because after losing 3 times or 4 times in a row, it turns out that Artemiel is not so great in slot 8. So we're going to try this comp out and see how it goes. So starting out here, we're just going to start off with the deceleration and see where we get, see how my opponent reacts. We're going to see if we use some mana. If not, we're going to use some dots, but we're going to respond here. Just stun this thing. It's going to get cleansed, but it's still going to heal my Rakan here. We're going to go straight in some mana acceleration. Seems like my opponent's kind of got the similar idea to me. We're going to try to apply some AoE pressure now and see, now that my opponent's cleanse has been used already, we're just going to try to push some AoE damage, as I feel like my opponent probably has to rotate here. Now we're going to try to shred some cards as well as continue with the deceleration. Boom. That was pretty sweet. We just shredded a lot of cards right there, actually. Alrighty, wow, that did a lot of damage. Ganymede is not loving that, I can tell you that right now. So just going to continue trying to do some chip damage. This really does do quite a bit of damage now that Tessarion's level 8, as well as I have some pretty good runes on Tessarion here. Going to continue just A, chip down his Rakan, and B, just heal up my Jean here, and then continue just attempting to decelerate, throw down some chip damage, and it seems like we're doing okay in this matchup so far. Boom, got this off just in time, so we saved Ganymede's life right here, as well as a little bit of my mana. Alrighty, just gonna try to keep throwing down some dots here. And we're in a pretty commanding position right now. Sure, he's killing off my front row as well as healing up here. However, we're feeling pretty good with this. And now, just in time, we're going to get a buff with some acceleration, and then we're going to transfer his transfer. the ultimate troll play. And if I was him, I would feel extremely frustrated. In fact, I have felt the way he does, and I'm sure many of you have as well. There's nothing more frustrating than getting transferred to your transfer. And we'll just continue, responding to what he does, just continue to AoE him down, and unfortunately at this point in time, I don't think my opponent's got a chance. Good game. Moving on to matchup 2. Alrighty everyone, and moving on to matchup 2 out of 3 for today's video. My opponent is rocking kind of an interesting setup here. He's got an Eleanor, so that will be interesting. We have to watch out for the cleanse for a lot of our abilities. However, my team just kind of does so much debuffs that we just kind of, put as many debuffs as we can on my opponent and just kind of allow my opponent to react and then use, some heavy debuffs after my opponent, uses the cleanse. So we'll just kind of not only sustain my Rakan here, but just put some chip damage on this, the bear right here. And we'll see how my opponent responds. He's going to try to clean shot, but with kind of like an offset for the elemental disadvantage. There was no way, in my opinion. I thought he was going to kill my Rakan there. However, if that would have crit, that actually probably would have killed, but it's not very likely that you'll crit. As you can see, my opponent went ahead and used the cleanse, so we're just going to keep pushing some deceleration here as well as a little bit of damage. This is kind of interesting. I will say, as far as Ganymede goes, I kind of enjoy running Ganymede, and as you can see, since we drew the spoil, we're going to use this Tessarion straight into the Poseidon right here. Just put as many debuffs, try to tempt out this cleanse, and then we're going to double dot here. Kind of push the advantage as soon as possible, because it's going to be a while before my opponent is able to cycle that cleanse back into my opponent's hand here. And that's one thing to look out for all of you, is if your opponent's running like an Eleanor or McKean, as soon as they use their cleanse, you need to be kind of saving some of your dots or whatever, some of your threats for debuffs in your hand to use immediately after, because it's going to be a while before they're able to cycle through and really kind of utilize this. Now I'm using this Chain of Despair kind of in hopes that my opponent's going to, cleanse this immediately after. Not only is it going to waste my opponent's mana, but it is going to give me an opportunity to continue just doing some damage. Okay, that was a good cleanse actually by my opponent there. So we're just going to continue pushing the advantage here, just kind of see how my opponent reacts. I think we're in a pretty strong position kind of moving on to the back row. Granted, my opponent does have a Commune, as you can see right there. However, we will see how this pans out for us. Alrighty, so we're going to continue just chipping away. I will say I do like the Vertiheal here. He does quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, my opponent's not really getting lucky with the crits, and he's not really utilizing any like attack buffs or anything, but I will say I am starting to like Vertiheal quite a lot. So he went ahead and used the damage conversion. I think he is going to kill my Megan. Yeah, unfortunately. But we'll just wait until this damage conversion's off. We're going to go ahead and just buff up my Eleanor here, and this probably is going to, yeah, that did quite a bit of damage to good old Vertiheal right there. We're just going to continue to chip down my opponent. Oh, that did quite a lot of damage. I'm telling you, Tessarion is next level as far as his damage. It's absolutely wild. We're just going to continue to kind of chip down. I do enjoy running dots later into the comp here. And we're going to continue using Eleanor's ability. Hopefully we can survive this. Commune does quite a bit of damage, and we're also going to kind of alleviate some of the heal that my opponent would have gotten right there. So we're going to go ahead and dot him up. He's going to continue not to really gain that much health due to the fact that he's getting reflected, so that's really good for us. In fact, if we end up winning this matchup, it could be why we won. It's because we had that reflect, and my opponent was really unable to really utilize the full, capability of his heals. Luckily, we resisted here. That would have probably spelled kind of disaster for us. And was probably a slight play mistake ultimately, but we'll see here. So we're just waiting for my opponent to use an ability, and my opponent failed to use ability, so good game. Alrighty everyone, and now on to the third and final matchup of today's video. And as you can see, my opponent's running kind of like an AoE cleave type of team here. So we're going to see who can out-cleave who in this matchup. It's actually kind of exciting. He's got a cleanse, I've got a cleanse, and we'll see who's this matchup kind of favors here. So we're going to start off with some deceleration as we always do. For whatever reason, my emulator is really delayed. So as you can see, I use my Poseidon ability, and usually it only has about a 1 mana drag, but as you can see, it was used all the way when I had 2 additional mana, so I find that kind of interesting. And like almost every ability kind of drags on, so it's really kind of crappy, to be honest with you. So we'll kind of push through, and hopefully that doesn't affect us too much, and we'll answer his Beretta with our Beretta as well. Just going to try to dot his team up and see if we can't draw out the McKean cleanse here, as well as see, if my opponent keeps spending mana, we're going to continue to press AoE abilities, and we're going to transfer here. This was actually really good for us. We were lucky to get this transfer early on in the game here. And then we're going to continue to push AoE damage, because without the mana, McKean's not going to be able to do anything. And wow, that McKean just got absolutely obliterated by Tessarion. I will say I really do like the fact that Tessarion is always elemental advantage with his passive ability, because it really does make AoE damage extremely deadly with him using his ability. So unfortunately, the Nikki was able to get the invulnerability right there, so we'll just kind of wait until that's off. My opponent is desperately trying to catch up here, and we're about to double dot, and this is probably going to dispel a quick defeat for my opponent right here. This is just too much AoE damage to overcome at this point. Okay, that was a nice little divine protection. However, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late, so we're just going to kind of turtle up, and luckily we were able to get that cleanse out of the way for that Chains of Despair, so that's always nice. We're going to not only accelerate, but get an attack buff here. And then my opponent gave up. Well, that was a good game for game 3. Alrighty, everyone. And real quickly before we end today's video, I just want to say the grind is absolutely real once you get, into the realm of diamond. As you can see, we've been up in the video, we've been down in the video, we've been back up in the video. It's absolutely wild. As far as my team comp, I'm not absolutely sold on this team comp. If you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to show you everything that I've got on my free-to-play account right here. Just recommend a team that I should use, and we'll see if we can't find something that works to climb through the ranks here. And please comment below. But without further ado, thank you for watching today's video. I appreciate if you guys would consider, liking and subscribing to the channel. But I'm Gaijin Gamer, signing out.